Now, before I begin your reading, I need to show you to tell you at the beginning that if this does not resonate with you, it is not for you. So it's so many different readings out there as an oracle. You can go to them, and if this resonates with you, stay with me.
Oh, hello, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for January 2019. I have been leaving your zodiac sign for the very lucky last, because it took me a long time to get a way to get the strategy to get into it and give you practical, doable, and thorough suggestions and guides, if you like, in how to begin this wonderful year to come for you. And the reason for that is because you are such a grounded sign, you are such a practical sign, that you are interested in things that will give you the necessary resources to make the decisions or to be more informed in attacking or approaching approaching the way you will live like your life, or how to deal with the issues that you are grappling with right now and in the future. I think this is what was so difficult. You, amongst all the signs, Capricorn came very quickly, but it took a while for me to get into your sign and how to go about giving you the advice that you do need, because you are such a practical. You don't want to stand for any wishy-washy or ambiguous things. You want direct things that will make a difference. Anything grounded or practical or thorough or specific things. You are into the specifics so much sometimes that often you just stay still because you can't decide. You want to be always on the safe side, always so conservative about, you can be creative with other people or other people's issues, but when it comes to yourself, you want to have all the knowledge you need. You want to be grounded, you want to be able to know, and you're going to have everything in your hands. You want to see the big picture and so on. So the first card, before I begin um, your reading, actually, because I'll tell you, your first general one is, I must be selfish enough to align with well-being. Somewhat that is also a message for me, so I must share with you, or if you are listening to this video, that means you are the person who can make a difference to spread the idea that I have, because I think that the world today is almost having a disease or disease or some kind of sickness of gaining wealth, even though we already have so much. We want more, and it's because of the dollars. S, and you got that S symbol of the dollar. Almost that people have that in their minds rather than taking it and then use it so that your family or yourself can be comfortable or getting all the thing that you need. And instead, we want to be greedy and wanting more of it, have more of it in the bank, or somehow we feel insecure as something goes wrong. We're worried that if the world ends, you never have enough money and so on. So I think you're not the only one. A lot of people are feeling this way, uh, almost a kind of sickness, like a universal sickness. And I think I have an idea that perhaps people should begin to go back to basics of having fishermen catching fish and um, bartering it for wheat to make bread for their family, and perhaps going back to the community gardens. Even in the big cities, it's not possible. It's not impossible to have big gardens to so that you have enough nutrients and healthy food and so on. So it's incredible that this idea of mine could become an alternative to dollars. It's a closed loop, and the problem with a lot of nonprofit companies is that they're playing into the hands of dollars, and they become hungry for dollars rather, and then the money that goes into charity gets spent into administration and everything else that's unrelated to the cause that they are supporting. And I think it's a good idea that people, families, communities would stop playing into the hands of traders and future traders rather, and continue to live in the now and use our resources for good and serving others, be of service to others, give of themselves to others rather than keeping and hoarding, and in the form of commodities that is traded and wanting more and more, never having enough. I don't know what it is. So I've drawn this card, and I think you don't really believe that you're selfish enough. You don't align with well being enough. And this is what happened. You don't believe that you're selfish enough to deliberately align with the energy of your own source, the source of all things, the creator of all things. You don't believe this because you say thinking that you have nothing to give anyway. Yeah? So you think that you are selfish and you don't want to give yourself to anybody. You just want to keep for yourself, keep to yourself, and not want to give in any way because you'll have less then. That is the worry that you have. If it take too much away from the pie, you have nothing left. And this is what you are thinking. Well, in reality, you know what? This pie expands in proportion to the vibrational request of all of you. So the more that you have give of this pie, the more this pie becomes bigger and bigger. But if you don't cut the pie, it stays put, it stays the same, it becomes stagnant, it goes off. But the more that you share the pie, the more that it will expand. Okay, because what happened is everything abhors, if a vacuum, the universe cannot exist in a vacuum. There must be something to grab onto. And the more you give and share of yourself, the more that your prosperity will come. Okay, so in your first week, it's also a reverse because you cannot accept yourself as a vibrational being. For some reason, there is a block. But remember, once you begin to accept yourself as a vibrational being, you attract all things that come into your experience. I think that it's a negative that you've been attracting instead. Now, once you understand this, you must remember if you attract the negative things, that's because you've been thinking and dwelling on them. How much more if you can attract the positive, the good things in life, success that you've been craving, the abundance that will come to you if you only think the good of everyone, the good of yourself, rather than being constantly fearful. If you do so, then you will hold the key to get whatever you want from wherever it comes from. It will come to you on any subject, on any need, on any issue will be resolved. So that's on your first week. Unfortunately, it's reversed, but remember, flip it, and becomes positive. Now, your second week is just a lot better because it's upright and it says, I'm standing on the leading edge of thoughts. Beautiful. You have this being who seems to be free and in a balancing neck on a tiny branch, and you see flowers. It's almost like spring. So remember, this is a new year. This is a new year, a new start. And you're at the very leading edge of things, and you will begin this new adventure that a year from now, even a month from now, you'll see the results. Just as all of us, all of your experiences from the time of your birth into your physical body until now have culminated into who you are now. So, what this means is that every thought you've ever had actually becomes real, becomes your reality. So, if you have been really fearful and worried about things, of course it manifested. It manifested, become real in your everyday life. How much better if it was if you decide right now to flip it and have wonderful things. Just give it a go. Just give it a go. I suggest you have like a pad, like a very cheap pad. And in this pad, you write every single bad thoughts that occur to you that you've always got thinking of, and write it all down. Just don't think it, write it all down. Once you finish, doesn't matter, no one will read it. Just write it all down. Even if you misspell, doesn't matter. Just write it down, and once you've got it all written down, burn it, and it will become ash. Now, what you need to do is the positive thoughts that you want to think of, things you've always wanted, the dreams that you have, take it back. You must have consigned it to obscurity, or you put it somewhere it's childish drawer, or somewhere where you kept all your forgotten dreams. Go back and find it again. Retrieve your forgotten dreams and take it back and write it in on a beautiful diary. Okay, if you can't afford buying a diary, go to a charity shop or an op shop or somewhere where you can buy stationery that's beautiful with a great cover and lovely paper. Write down everything you've always desired, that you've always wanted to manifest. Go back to it and keep looking at it if you feel. And if you feel overwhelmed again and feeling negative about life and so on, go back to that cheap pad, write all the negative things and burn it. Be careful that you don't set yourself on fire or your house or something like that. You don't want another problem like it. Just be safe. Have a basin of water so all the ash or any of the flames will be caught on and be doused. So I just want you to just focusing. This is a very practical and focusing activity so that you will stop and get out of this habit of thinking negative thoughts and think of positive ones instead, and write down when you are comfortable and write every single thing that you always wanted to happen, that you've always wanted to achieve in your life. Why shouldn't you believe in yourself? You have so much potential. And remember, it is your mind. It is your mind who will make it come true. And you need to act on them. You can't just have no one knowing about it. You have to tell everyone, ask for help. Because remember, if you don't ask, it won't be given to you. It is in the Bible, isn't it? It is in all of the wisdom books that is saying that if you ask for it, for those who ask, they will be given them. So you need to believe in this. Okay? all that is has culminated into all that is now being experienced in the physical life experience on planet Earth, has manifested. Now, in your third week, it says that I will reach for the best feeling thought I have access to. So what it says is that if you're reaching for the feeling of relief that comes when you release a more resistant thought, then obviously what has happened in your life so far, this is what you've been getting. Okay, because it is what will manifest. But if you have a better feeling thought, then the success or the stream of well-being will answer to that, and you will flow with it. So the more you allow it, the better you feel, and the more all the positive things will come true. The more you resist it, the worse you feel. So remember that. If you look at this wonderful picture of this girl with the tendrils of her hair reaching to the stars, show how carefree this girl is. Or if you're a man, think of all the things you desire. You must let people know around you. Tell them your dreams, inspire them, because you are in the best place to do so. People look up to you. Okay? People look up to you and they need you to be this inspiring person. Now, in your fourth week, wonderful upright card, it says, my emotional set points can be changed. Now, why is this so good? This is so good because if you believe that you can set the points of your achievements, if your stepping stones are clear in front of you, then you'll be able to achieve it. That means you need to set goals. Think of it. If you were a flotsam and jetsam, you're just going to be the waves are just going to take you anywhere and no purpose. It's just going to be flowing side to side. Nothing happens. You're not going anywhere. But if you are a boat with a captain, with everyone working together to achieve your destination, of course you're going to be successful. So remember, we want you to understand the extreme value in deliberately achieving your own set points. This is your goals. Because once you expect something, it will come. So the details of it may play out differently. You might have different details because this is a general reading. You need to think about this with your own specific needs. Make it come true because you are setting the goals. Without goals, nobody has a purpose and you don't achieve anything. If you look at all the very successful people all around the world, they may not have been successful at the beginning, but once they have a dream, they have a goal, and they get everybody to play their parts to achieve the goals. That's why they're successful. But remember, you must believe that your vibrational essence will always be an exact match for what you've been asking for. Okay? So I hope you have gained something from this, Taurus. Remember, this is a year for you. This is an unbelievable year that you will achieve everything you've ever desired. But you need to work hard. You need to pay the price. You need to pay the price as in giving of yourself. And in giving of yourself, hopefully, but not expecting anything in return. And all of this, the service you given to others will return 50-fold. I hope that you are well and everything goes well and you change for the better. And wonderful. Change is great. Change is wonderful. It's an adventure. Life should be an adventure. You should enjoy the travel and the journey. Okay? Thank you for listening and take care.